이제는 대한민국도 스텔스기 보유국. ROKAF 대한민국 공군 F-35A. 최고 속도 마하 1.6, 최대 이륙 중량 31,750kg. F-22 랩터가 종래의 F-15가 맡았던 역할을 대신하기 위해 만들어진 기체라면 F-35는 미들급 전투기인 F-16과 공격기 해리어 및 A-10 썬더볼트 등을 대신하는 좀 더 저렴한 버전의 멀티롤 스텔스 전투기 겸 공격기로 개발되었습니다. 하지만 F-22 랩터라는 걸출한 공격기가 있는 미국에서나 F-35를 2선 전투기로 쓰는 것이고, 그 외 대다수의 국가에서 F-35는 말 그대로 하이엔드급의 1선 전투기 역할을 하게 됩니다. 우리나라도 이제 F-35 도입과 더불어 하이급의 F-35, 미들급의 KF-X, 그리고 로우급의 FA-50이라는 체계가 갖추어지게 될 텐데요. 보유했다는 사실 자체만으로도 전쟁 억지력이 발생한다는 스텔스기 F-35. 하지만 정비나 수리를 위해선 미국 본토까지 가야만 한다는 단점도 있습니다. 그에 비해 일본은 F-35 140여 대를 인수하면서 일본 국내에서도 정비가 가능할 수 있도록 미국의 허가를 받았습니다. 우리가 돈 주고 구입한 비싼 무기임에도 불구하고 제때 수리나 정비도 못하고 전력 공백이 생길 수밖에 없다는 점에서도 KF-X를 비롯한 국산 무기체계의 기술력을 쌓아나가는 일은 정말 중요하다고 하겠습니다. KF-X의 실패를 우려하는 시각들도 많지만 시도하지 않으면 아무 변화도 일어나지 않으니까요. 그리고 그 잘나가는 미국도 무기체계 하나를 만들어내기 위해 숱한 실패를 반복해 왔으니까요. 그래서 F-35의 개발에 얽힌 이야기에 대한 해외 자료를 번역해 보고자 합니다. 재밌게 시청해 주셨으면 합니다. 케빈 스텝스 채널.
It will assume the air-to-ground attack role for the U.S. military. The F-35 can carry heavy weapons externally for maximum effect. But when a smaller payload is carried internally, it is nearly as stealthy as the vaunted F-117 Nighthawk.
It has a significant amount of stealth capability to allow it to be used early on in a campaign, and it has a significant amount of weapons carrying and payload capability to be used at the later stages of campaign. The threat to the airplanes may not be as significant and require less stealth.
The development of the F-35 was driven by the Armed Forces' desire to save costs by creating a ground attack bomber that would meet the needs of the Air Force, Navy, Marines, and Britain's Royal Navy.
Airplanes are becoming very expensive these days, and we had to do something to get the cost of these airplanes back down to a reasonable level.
The F-35 is expected to cost about $40 million, one-third the cost of an F-22 Raptor. But could one basic airframe be designed to satisfy so many different military demands? Each armed service wanted a stealthy ground attack bomber, but the Marines also needed a plane with short takeoff and vertical landing capability. The U.S. Navy required a craft with larger wings, heavy-duty landing gear, and an arresting hook for carrier landings. And the wings would have to fold up to save deck space.
The size and scope of the JSF program is pretty significant. The airplane is being designed to replace the F-16 and the A-10 for the Air Force, the AV-8B for the Marine Corps, and the FA-18 for the Navy.
Unlike the twin-engine F-22 Raptor, the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter was designed around a single engine to keep down not only costs, but weight. A lighter plane can carry more weapons.
For the Joint Strike Fighter, one of the keys of its mission is the ability to handle a large amount of ordnance and bring it to an enemy site. That all works better with a single engine.
The Air Force version of the Joint Strike Fighter, the F-35A, made its first flight attempt on October 24, 2000. Tom Morgenfeld, who had been a test pilot for the F-22 Raptor, was at the controls.
Well, a million things are going through your mind. Your eyes are everywhere, you're listening, you're watching. Your senses are tuned to an incredible level because you're sensing and feeling the airplane for the very first time. It flies wonderfully. It's definitely a pilot's airplane.
The Air Force testing went smoothly. But the most difficult challenge still lay ahead for the F-35 program. The Marine Corps needed a version that could perform short takeoffs and vertical landings, STOVL for short.
The STOVL capability is extremely important to the Marine Corps because the airplane can go just about anywhere that the rest of the forces can go. It's not limited to needing a large runway. It doesn't need a really big ship to operate off of.
Engineers at Lockheed Martin, the designers of the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter, took a hard look at the AV-8B Harrier, the STOVL fighter that the new aircraft would have to improve upon.
The Harrier is a great airplane if you look at the fact that it's basically 1960s technology. It's achieving all those wondrous STOVL flight sort of maneuvers without the aid of a lot of computers.
The Harrier's ability to take off, hover, and land vertically is achieved by vectored thrust. The powerful force of its jet engine is directed downwards through 4 nozzles that can pivot 90 degrees.
I was brought in because I am a Harrier pilot with almost 1,600 hours in that airplane. So all of the lessons learned I have from the Harrier airframe and operational experience I have, I was able to bring to the program and use those to help evaluate the X-35 STOVL version.
For hovering, engineers gambled on a radical new system. They planned to supplement the vectored thrust method by harnessing the jet engine to a drive shaft that would power a fan to blast air downward.
In 1991, we unveiled this shaft-driven lift fan system to the technical world. Some actually said, "You gotta be kidding me. Are you guys serious?"
The lift fan required doors to open behind the pilot on the top and bottom of the plane to draw in more air. The fan would blast air down midship, while the jet nozzle in back swiveled, blowing its powerful exhaust down to create a balanced lift force.
The shaft-driven lift fan system allows you to harness a lot more energy out of what the engine is producing.
But harnessing a jet engine to a drive shaft proved to be extremely difficult.
The mechanical energy we were dealing with in the shaft-driven lift fan system was very large. We had 28,000 horsepower being transmitted from the drive shaft from the main engine to the lift fan. And that's similar to the power going through a U.S. naval destroyer.
The lift fan's ability to blend large amounts of cool air with the hot jet exhaust provided another important benefit.
One of the things we learned in JSF was to combine the jet exhaust to get a lower combined temperature than the Harrier. This allowed us to avoid some of the problems with concrete where the concrete would actually burst and explode under the high temperature and high jet exhaust from the Harrier.
At the Lockheed Martin test facility in Palmdale, California, the revolutionary lift fan system was put to the ultimate test, in the air. If the lift fan failed during hover, the plane would crash.
It made its first flight in 2001, and it was a complete success. And at that time, I didn't hear any more from the people who had been saying for years, this thing will never work. It worked.
Now, all 3 versions of the F-35 for the Air Force, Navy, and Marines are being developed and further tested for mass production. The United States, Britain, and their allies are expected to order more than 4,000 Joint Strike Fighters, which will replace most American-built fighter bombers in use today.
케빈즈 번역 시리즈 제5편 이제 대한민국도 스텔스기 보유국이 되다. JSF F-35에 대한 모든 것. 지금까지 시청해주셔서 감사합니다. Kevin's Tabs 채널